Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour. My name is Mark Lin, India's voice to the world. This is Namaskar. Coming up in the next 30 minutes, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping scheduled to meet on the sidelines of the BRICS summit in Kazan. This will be their first bilateral meeting in 5 years. Prime Minister Modi meets the Russian President Putin on the sidelines of the BRICS summit in Kazan. Prime Minister reiterates conflict in Ukraine should be resolved peacefully. Prime Minister Modi holds his first meeting with the Iranian President Pezeshkian. They discuss ways to deepen ties in futuristic sectors. With the US election day drawing near, the Secretary of State Antony Blinken makes a last-ditch effort for a ceasefire in West Asia, meets the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. First up is news from the 16th BRICS summit in Kazan in Russia. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi met the Russian President Vladimir Putin on the sidelines of the BRICS summit in Kazan. They looked at the increasing role that BRICS is playing in world affairs. They also reviewed the special strategic partnership that India and Russia share. The close ties between India and Russia remain as strong as ever. This was clear during India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi's meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin on the sidelines of the 16th BRICS summit in Kazan. Prime Minister Modi lauded Russia's leadership in BRICS, noting the group's increasing global influence, with several nations eager to join.
मेरे लिए खुशी की बात है कि ब्रिक्स समिट के लिए कजान जैसे खूबसूरत शहर में आने का अवसर मिला है। इस शहर के साथ भारत के गहरे और ऐतिहासिक संबंध रहे हैं। कजान में भारत के नए कॉन्सुलेट के खुलने से ये संबंध और मजबूत होंगे।
The two leaders reviewed the full spectrum of India-Russia relations, focusing on progress made since the last meeting in Moscow. Discussions centered on enhancing cooperation across key sectors and sharing views on critical global issues, including the ongoing conflict in Ukraine.
एक्सेलेंसी, रूस और यूक्रेन के बीच चल रहे संघर्ष के विषय पर हम लगातार संपर्क में रहे हैं। जैसा मैंने पहले भी कहा है, हमारा मानना है कि समस्याओं का समाधान शांतिपूर्ण तरीके से ही होना चाहिए। शांति और स्थिरता की जल्द से जल्द बहाली का हम पूरी तरह समर्थन करते हैं। हमारे सभी प्रयास मानवता को प्रमुखता देते हैं। आने वाले समय में भी भारत हर संभव सहयोग देने के लिए तैयार है। एक्सेलेंसी, आज इन सभी विषयों पर विचार साझा करने का एक और महत्वपूर्ण अवसर है।
President Putin reiterated the strategic nature of the India-Russia partnership, emphasizing the importance of cooperation that will need to make important decisions that would strengthen BRICS' functioning and its global role.
We appreciate the ongoing Indo-Russian cooperation as important. Russia and India have a special privileged partnership which keeps growing. We welcome your decision to open Council General in Kazan. The relations between the two nations will improve under your leadership.
Earlier, Prime Minister Modi received a warm welcome from the Indian community in Kazan. The Indian diaspora in Kazan continues to make its mark globally, promoting Indian culture and contributing to various sectors with pride. With inputs from Jessica Taneja, Bureau Report, DD India. On Prime Minister Narendra Modi's bilateral meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin, the Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri said that Prime Minister and President Putin reviewed the bilateral relations since their July meeting in Moscow, and they addressed a wide range of issues which include trade, economy, energy, defense and education, while also discussing regional and global concerns.
The two leaders had an extensive agenda to go over the whole range of bilateral issues, including trade, economic, energy, defense, connectivity, education, and people-to-people ties were discussed between the two of them. Regional and global issues of mutual concern also came up for discussion. The two leaders also exchanged views on several matters concerning BRICS, and President Putin expressed his appreciation for India's constructive attitude and contributions in concluding the documents related to the Kazan BRICS summit.
And the Russian President Vladimir Putin also welcomed Prime Minister Narendra Modi at a dinner hosted for BRICS leaders in Kazan in Russia. India's Prime Minister Modi, along with other BRICS leaders, witnessed a musical performance as well. India's Prime Minister also held a bilateral meeting with the Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian on the sidelines of the BRICS summit. Discussions focused on India-Iran bilateral relations, including on the importance of the INSTC and the Chabahar port for regional connectivity. India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri said that Prime Minister Modi raised concerns about the situation in West Asia, stressed on protection of civilians and the role of diplomacy in de-escalation of the situation.
Prime Minister and President Pezeshkian had a fruitful discussion. This was their first meeting since President Pezeshkian's election as the 9th President of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Prime Minister congratulated him on his recent victory and reaffirmed India's commitment to deepening the age-old bilateral ties with Iran. The discussion focused on key areas of cooperation, particularly the Chabahar port and the international north-south transport corridor, which are crucial for enhancing regional connectivity and economic partnerships. In fact, seamless connectivity in the region was a theme of this meeting.
The Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri also said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping will hold a bilateral meeting on the sidelines of the BRICS summit in Kazan in Russia on Wednesday.
I can confirm that there will be a bilateral meeting held between Prime Minister Modi and President Xi Jinping tomorrow, 23rd of October, on the sidelines of the BRICS summit.
India's Ministry of Information and Broadcasting and the Ministry of Commerce and Industry joined forces on Tuesday to inaugurate the India Pavilion at MIPCOM 2024 in Cannes in France. The CEO of Prasar Bharati, India's public broadcaster, Gaurav Dwivedi, was among the delegates who led the ceremony. At the event, he highlighted DD India, the country's first English global news channel. And Dwivedi also underscored efforts to expand the channel's global footprint by building relationships with public broadcasters in Europe and Latin America and working with European distribution platforms for wider penetration.
All India Radio Akashvani, it started in the 1930s, and the television service started in the 70s. It's in fact just turned 65 about 2 weeks back. So way back in the late 90s, when the Indian television sector was opening up and private channels had just started coming in, the market was ruled at that point of time by the cable operators, who were also making their presence felt across the country. And Prasar Bharati at that point took this very conscious decision of creating its own satellite distribution platform, which is called Free Dish. And being a public service broadcaster, the specific call was taken that this platform should be a free-to-air platform, unencrypted, non-addressable, because we felt that the obligations of being a public service broadcaster meant that there should not be any entry barriers as far as the audiences are concerned. And this platform was launched in 2003. And over the last 21 years, it's steadily grown to become India's largest satellite distribution platform, with over 50 million households installed base. The other private sector platforms, the next two combined, are just about close to our numbers.
India's telecom major BSNL has unveiled a new logo symbolizing trust, strength and nationwide reach. BSNL also introduces 7 pioneering initiatives aimed at enhancing digital security, affordability and reliability for urban and rural regions alike. Tapas Bhattacharya reports.
Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited proudly unveils its brand new logo symbolizing strength, trust and nationwide accessibility. Launched by Union Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia, this bold new look signifies BSNL's renewed focus on delivering secure, affordable and reliable connectivity.
It is only BSNL that at the behest of the Prime Minister, along with indigenous equipment manufacturers, toiled day and night and has come up with our own 4G stack. And today we are among the 6 countries in the world to develop our own 4G telecom stack, which will soon migrate to even 5G.
Alongside this exciting new logo, BSNL introduces 7 initiatives designed to revolutionize the way India connects. First, a spam-free network automatically filtering out phishing and malicious messages for safer communication experiences. Next, the national Wi-Fi roaming services, providing seamless high-speed internet at no extra cost for BSNL's customers. And BSNL's IFTV, an intranet TV service offering over 500 live channels without eating into your data pack. Plus, anytime SIM kiosk, you can buy, upgrade or replace your SIM cards 24/7 with ease. BSNL is also introducing India's first direct-to-direct services, merging satellite and terrestrial networks for reliable emergency connectivity. Their public protection and disaster relief network ensures encrypted, uninterrupted communication during crisis. And lastly, private 5G for mines, providing high-speed, low-latency connectivity to enhance safety and efficiency in mining operations.
From 75 lakh subscribers in March 2024, we've now gone to 1.8 crore subscribers. That is almost 2.5x in a matter of 6 months. BSNL now will always be at the forefront of technological innovation.
With these initiatives, BSNL is leading the charge towards a digitally connected Bharat where security, affordability and reliability are at the heart of the network. Tapas Bhattacharya's report, DD India.
Still to come here on DD India News Hour. We'll get you an update on the ground situation in the United States as election day draws near. The IMF has some words of wisdom for UK's finance minister.
Who will be the next president of United States of America?
Will Donald Trump make a dramatic comeback, or will Kamala Harris become America's first woman president?
It's a tight race to the White House.
The knives are out and the battle lines sharply drawn.
He's becoming increasingly unstable and unhinged.
She's a threat to democracy because she shouldn't even be the candidate.
I'm Amritpal Singh.
I'm Shubhendu Ghosh.
We travel across the United States
to decode the issues at the heart of this polarized election.
Watch this space only on DD India.
Welcome to Rajasthan, the celebration of India. Rajasthan treats you with its many shades and values.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lynn. Let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. In a news conference on Tuesday, the International Monetary Fund chief economist Pierre-Olivier Gouranchas has stated that the British Finance Minister Rachel Reeves should ensure that public debt remains on a downward path if she makes changes to fiscal rules in her budget next week. After officials in Ukraine and South Korea accused North Korea of dispatching troops to aid Russia in its conflict in Ukraine, the NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte stated that confirmation of the presence of North Korean troops supporting Russia would mark a significant escalation. As tensions soar in West Asia, with Israel fighting battles on multiple fronts against Gaza's Hamas and Lebanon's Hezbollah, the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived in Israel and he met the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to push for a ceasefire in the region. DD India's Mihir Makuri has more.
After a year of conflict between Israel and Hamas, a new battle between Israel and Hezbollah has sparked widespread concerns about a broader regional conflict. Tuesday saw US top diplomat Antony Blinken arriving in Israel and meeting the country's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu with an aim to push for a ceasefire in Gaza. This is Blinken's 11th visit to the West Asia since Hamas's attack on Israel over a year ago triggered the Gaza conflict. Hours before Blinken's arrival, air raid sirens sounded in Tel Aviv and other parts of central Israel after Hezbollah fired missiles at what it claimed were Israeli military targets near Haifa and Tel Aviv. Tuesday also saw Yemen's Houthis claim to have attacked an Israeli military base in Tel Aviv using ballistic missiles. On the other hand, in an effort to ease tensions in the region, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi arrived in Kuwait on Tuesday to discuss the latest developments. In the battlefield, during a night of heavy strikes on southern Lebanon and the suburbs of Beirut, Israel targeted an area near Beirut's Rafik Hariri Hospital, Lebanon's main state medical facility. Lebanese authorities reported 13 people were killed, but the Israeli military stated that the hospital itself was not targeted and remained unaffected. Meanwhile, India has sent humanitarian assistance to the people of Palestine through the United Nations Relief and Works Agency. The first tranche, comprising 30 tons of medicine and food items, departed on Tuesday. Mihir Makuri reporting for DD India.
2024 United States presidential election is just weeks away, promising to be a defining contest in shaping the nation's trajectory for generations to come. While the former President Donald Trump is due to convene a roundtable of Latino business leaders in Miami, the Vice President Kamala Harris is going to spend the day in Washington. She's on the campaign trail.
With the last leg of campaigning underway, both the candidates, US Vice President Kamala Harris and former US President Donald Trump, are putting their heart and soul into the process amid sharp attacks at each other. Migration and conflict in Ukraine are some of the key issues dominating in this election. Democrat nominee and Vice President Kamala Harris said that Trump would have Ukraine surrender to Russia if he won the November presidential election.
He would surrender. He would have Ukraine surrender its fight against an aggressor, violating its sovereignty. If Donald Trump were president, Vladimir Putin will be sitting in Kyiv.
Donald Trump calls Kamala Harris a cognitive mess. Lashing out at Harris during a rally, Trump said Harris doesn't have the compassion, the smarts, or the strength to be the president of the United States.
She's a mess. She's a cognitive mess, and nobody wants to talk about it. And we can't have 4 more years. We had 4 years of it. We can't take another 4 years of it, can we? Kamala Harris does not have the compassion the smarts or the strength to be the president of the United States. She just can't do the job. You know it. Everybody knows it.
A new Reuters Ipsos poll found that Democrat US Vice President Kamala Harris held a marginal lead over Republican former President Donald Trump, with a glum electorate saying the country is on the wrong track. With opinion polls showing a close race, the two candidates are picking up the pace, their frenzied campaign schedules underlining the importance of small pockets of voters that could put either candidate over the top. Bureau Report, DD, India.
Well, the 2026 Commonwealth Games, which is going to be held in Glasgow City in the United Kingdom, is going to feature only 10 sports in a bid to remain budget-friendly. The Games will run from July 23 to August 2 across 4 venues. It includes sports like athletics, swimming, artistic gymnastics, track cycling, netball, weightlifting, boxing, judo, bowls, and 3x3 basketball. Among the sports to be axed are badminton, cricket, hockey, mind you, and rugby sevens. The exclusion of these sports will severely impact India's medal prospects, though track cycling and boxing have been included. Now, Glasgow had also hosted this event in 2014. The Games were originally slated for Victoria in Australia, but the state withdrew its hosting rights in 2023 because of rising costs. The 16th edition of the Women's Indian Open 2024 is to get underway from October 24 at the DLF Golf and Country Club in New Delhi. Now, with the rise of golf in India, this event is providing a new opportunity for women golfers. Take a look at this report.
Golf is on a rise in India. And with the 16th edition of Women Indian Open 2024 at the Gurgaon Golf Course Club, the event is providing a new opportunity to all women golfers. The event is witnessing the participation of 100+ national and international golfers who are all set to represent their country at the prestigious event. Participating for the first time in India, Switzerland's Chiara said that she is really excited to be a part of this event and expressed her happiness on being in India for the first time.
I'm very excited about the tournament. It's always nice to travel to different places. It's my first time in India, experience some different cultures, trying some different food, and playing on a beautiful golf course as well. So it's been a treat so far.
On the other hand, England's Alice said that Gurgaon course is a bit tough, but it's always exciting to play alongside the Indian players.
The course just demands everything from you. You've got to be so precise off the tee, you've got to hit good iron shots, and you've got to be good on the greens. The greens this week are particularly firm and fast, and so that makes kind of the approach shots even more important so that you're leaving yourself in a good position. I just feel it's going strength to strength, especially in the golf world. We're seeing so many more Indian players come out on tour and excel week after week. The season that Diksha had last year was exceptional, and Tavesa going from strength to strength, so it's fantastic to see.
India's sensational golfer Diksha Dagar, who has won the Indian Open in the past as well, said the sport is witnessing transformational journey in India.
ये बहुत अच्छी बात है, अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी है कि इंटरनेशनल टूर्नामेंट हमारे देश में हो रहा है, अच्छी गोल्फ कोर्स पे, और इंडियन गर्ल्स भी खेल रही है, देख रही है, काफ़ी लोग आ रहे हैं, और कॉमन लोगों को भी पता लग रहा है कि गोल्फ क्या है.
Not only this, the Golf Course Club also received an award for Best Course Condition, highlighting the improving sporting infrastructure of India.
National and international golfers are all excited to participate in the 16th edition of Women Indian Open Golf Tournament here in Gurgaon, Delhi NCR. And not only this golf course has also been awarded as the best maintained golf course here in India. So what are you waiting for? Do cheer for your favorite women golfer at this particular tournament, because sports is witnessing a transformational journey across India. With camera person Ajit, this is Sipika reporting for DD India.
And the exclusion of hockey from the Glasgow Commonwealth Games comes as a big blow to Paris bronze medalists India. The Indian men's hockey team captain Harmanpreet Singh and the coach Craig Fulton have expressed their disappointment. Let's look at this report.
Indian hockey team captain Harmanpreet Singh and coach Craig Fulton have expressed their disappointment over the exclusion of the hockey from the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. Hockey, along with shooting, cricket, badminton, table tennis, squash and triathlon, has been dropped in a bid to limit costs and streamline logistics, as only 4 venues will host the entire event. These cuts have impacted several sports that have traditionally been strong contenders, particularly for nations like India.
It is what it is. Unfortunate. That's further down the line. That's for another time with bigger planning ramifications, and what happens then and what happens, I don't know.
वो भी एक टारगेट है अच्छा टूर्नामेंट का, और जो हमारा टारगेट था इस बार गोल्ड मेडल का था, बट अनफॉर्चुनेट अभी ये न्यूज़ सुनने को मिल रही है सर कि हमारे हाथ में नहीं, हम नहीं सोच सकते इसके बारे में.
Hockey has been a marquee event at the Commonwealth Games, especially for countries like India, Australia and England, which have rich hockey legacies. India's men's and women's team have consistently performed well, making this exclusion even more disheartening for players and fans. Narayan Singh's report for DD India.
And that's all we have in this edition of DD India Live. But let's know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those of you on the go, you can get the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app, available on Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code and download it. We'll be back with more news here on DD India. My name is Mark Lin from all of us here in Delhi. Thank you very much for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.